Hey, babe. So one day, little Johnny's teacher asked him a question. She says, little Johnny, if there's 3 birds sitting on a fence and you shoot one of them, how many of them are left? And he says, well, none of them, because they fly away when I shoot. And she says, no, that's not the answer, but I like where your head's at. So then little Johnny says, let me ask you a question. He says, there's 3 girls sitting on a fence eating ice cream. He said, one's licking, one's biting, and one's sucking. Which one's married? And the teacher's like, the one sucking? And he says, no, the one with the ring on her finger, but I like where your head's at. Okay. So one day, little Johnny's mom has her lover over to visit. Well, the dad decides to come home early, so she tells the guy, hey, go hide in the closet. So he's in the closet, and he hears this little voice come out of the dark. It's little Johnny. He says, man, sure is dark in here. And the guy's like, yeah, it is. Little Johnny says, you know what? I have a baseball. And he's like, oh yeah, it's a nice baseball. And little Johnny says, you know, I could go show it to my dad. And the guy's like, how much do you want for it? Little Johnny says, how about 250 bucks? And he's like, okay, deal. So a few days later, the lover finds himself in the closet again. And here's little Johnny. Hey, sure is dark in here, isn't it? And the guy's like, oh man, you again? And he says, you know, I have a baseball glove. And the guy's like, okay. And he says, you know, I could go show it to my dad. And he's like, how much do you want for it? He said, I'll take $7.50 for it this time. And he's like, okay, here. So a few days later, little Johnny's dad comes home and says, hey, go grab your ball and your glove. Let's go outside and play catch. Little Johnny says, I don't have them anymore. I sold them. And he says, you sold them? How much did you sell it for? And he said, $1,000. And little Johnny's dad got mad. He's like, why would you sell your ball and glove to one of your friends for that kind of money? That's cheating them. That's not right. He said, I'm going to take you down to see the priest and have you confess. So they get into the church, and little Johnny's dad says, you need to get in there and talk to the priest and tell him what you've done and how you cheated your friends. So little Johnny goes in a little confessional booth, and he says, man, sure is dark in here. And the priest says, now don't start that shit again.
No.
Hey, babe. So one day, little Johnny's class was going over the 5 senses, and they were talking about taste. So the teacher handed everybody out a red Lifesaver. She said, put it in your mouth and taste it and tell me what it tastes like. And little Sarah raises her hand, and she said, it tastes like cherry. The teacher said, yeah, that's right. So then she handed out a green one and said, everybody put it in your mouth and see what it tastes like. And then little Claire raised her hand and said, it tastes like lime. She's like, yeah, that's right. So then she tried to trick them, and she handed them out this like orange colored Lifesaver. It's flavored like honey. So she said, try this one, put it in your mouth and tell me what it tastes like. And they were tasting on it, and they never could figure it out. And she said, okay, I'll give you a hint. She said, it's what sometimes your mommy calls your daddy. And little Johnny shot up and said, everybody spit them out, they're assholes.